Dual cameras on smartphones are all the rage these days. The LG G5 has it, the Xiaomi Redmi Pro has it, and even the upcoming iPhone is rumored to sport the setup. And among the latest devices to feature this contraption is the Huawei P9. What makes the P9 stand out though is Huawei's collaboration with optics major Leica. There's even Leica branding at the rear. But is that enough to put the Huawei P9 among this year's top flagships? We've been testing the smartphone over the last few weeks, and here's what you need to know. The P9 is a premium smartphone, there's no denying that. It features a symmetric design with rounded corners and edges and feels nice and balanced in the hand. It's lightweight and quite slim too, with the phone measuring just 6.95 mm around the waist. The button and port placement is standard, with the front camera, earpiece, sensors and notification LED on top, and Android navigation keys appearing as software overlays on the screen. The power button features a nice textured finish, making it easy to locate. You'll find the SIM card tray on the left, which supports hybrid dual SIM, with one slot doubling up as a micro SD card slot. The Huawei P9 features a USB Type-C port for charging and data transfers, which is fast becoming the norm on smartphones these days. The back panel is where most of the action takes place. Right up on top is a black strip which features the dual rear cameras, dual LED flash and Leica branding. Underneath it, you'll find the square fingerprint sensor which comes within easy reach of your index finger. The P9 is a compact device, thanks to its 5.2-inch display, which hits the sweet spot for one-handed use. Huawei has skipped QHD resolution in favor of Full HD, but the screen is plenty sharp for our liking. It features 2.5D glass around the edges, so you get a nice curve towards the frame. The P9's display is one of the best we've seen on a device lately, with punchy colors, stunning clarity and good brightness levels. And if you're finicky, there's even an option to adjust color temperature in the display settings. You can't have a Huawei smartphone without EMUI, and the P9 runs EMUI 4.1 atop Android 6.0 Marshmallow. We've had issues with EMUI in the past, but Huawei has really managed to polish its OS, and it now feels much lighter and smoother than before. You get the usual interface with the changing magazine unlock lock screen and a home screen devoid of an app drawer. You get a variety of downloadable themes and a phone manager, which functions as a dashboard of sorts to manage the storage, memory, notifications and more. P9 also features a health app, which gets an inbuilt pedometer to measure the daily step count and calorie burn. The usual suspects like a one-handed UI and gesture support can also be found in settings. Now let's get to the phone's mainstay, the cameras. Huawei has worked with Leica on the cameras, but the lenses themselves use Sony IMX286 sensors. While one of these sensors is RGB to capture color, the other is monochrome. The monochrome sensor can take black and white images, but its real function is to capture more light and contrast. When you snap an image with the camera, both lenses fire simultaneously, and the capture makes a composite that should theoretically feature more detail and better dynamic range. The camera app is packed to the gills with features, but it's easy to navigate. You can swipe to the left to bring up the various shooting modes, including monochrome, HDR, night shot, panorama, time-lapse, and light painting. There's also a dedicated button on the viewfinder for accessing the wide aperture mode. You can use this to adjust the aperture while you shoot and refocus the image later in edits. There are also a range of filters you can apply in real time, as well as Leica's film presets, standard, vivid and smooth colors. And if you want full manual control, swiping up from the shutter button activates the Pro mode. The results speak for themselves. They're among the best we've seen on any smartphone this year. The camera locks focus quickly and is able to capture amazing detail, whether it's a close-up macro shot or a landscape type image. The lack of noise is a big plus point, especially when it comes to low-light images. Thanks to the monochrome sensor, you can even get some stunning black and white shots. The P9's ability to capture dynamic range is one of its best features, and you can get some really great results by just using the auto mode. The front camera is an 8-megapixel unit with f2.4 aperture. You get the standard beauty mode and screen flash, but even without these, selfies are among the most detailed we've seen from a front camera. Powering the Huawei P9 is the company's own Octa-core Kirin 955 chipset paired with 3GB of RAM. The Kirin 955 doesn't offer the same performance you'd get from a Snapdragon 820 SoC, but it's still pretty powerful and results in smooth sailing for the most part. We could comfortably run 15 to 20 apps in the background, with most intensive games including titles like Dead Trigger 2 playing without breaking a sweat. The phone heats up with extended gaming and use of the camera, but apart from that, the temperature remains cool throughout. We did, however, face a few instances of app crashes and random freezes, especially when running apps like Snapchat. The Huawei P9 comes with 32 GB of internal storage and you get a little over 23 GB to use out of the box. You can expand the storage up to 256 GB using the micro SD card slot. The battery on the P9 is a 3000 mAh unit. In our video loop battery drain test, the smartphone did quite badly, lasted for just over 8 hours before running out of juice. In our daily use as well, the P9 never gave us more than 3 hours of screen on time, which is disappointing for power users. Casual users should be able to make the phone last until the evening though. And unfortunately, the P9 doesn't support fast charging, which is a bummer. The fingerprint sensor on the P9 is one of its best features. It's fast and snappy and rarely misses recognizing fingerprints. You can even use it for other functions, bringing up the notification bar, answering a call, snapping a photo, and scrolling through images in the gallery. The extra functionality is useful and you can enable the features you want in settings. Summing it all up, the Huawei P9 is a very capable flagship smartphone and a great buy for photography enthusiasts. The cameras just work, whether you're using them in full auto mode or one of the many other shooting modes available, and that's what you want from a smartphone camera. The P9 doesn't offer the same performance as the Samsung Galaxy S7 Duo and OnePlus 3, but is still a reliable device for your daily use. The smartphone is expected to be priced between Rs 35,000 to Rs 40,000 when it launches in India. That's a steep price, but if you have the moolah and you want to cash out on a smartphone with a great camera, the Huawei P9 should be on your list.